And thank you to John Hancock. It is 17 minutes before 8 on Cape Breton's Information Morning. I'm Wendy Martin. Well, students at Cape Breton University have voted to leave the Canadian Federation of Students. That's the result of a referendum sponsored by the Students' Union. 366 students voted. That's roughly 11% of the student population at CBU. And of those, 92% voted in favor of severing ties with the Canadian Federation. Ian Lindsay is the president of the CBU Students' Union, and he's on the line now. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning.
So what's your reaction to the vote results?
I'm not too surprised that the students have voted in favor of leaving. The number was a little higher than I expected, but I think this shows that students are fed up with the Federation and that they had the same opinions as I did as the president.
And what's your reason for that opinion? Why do you want CBU to leave the Canadian Federation of Students?
Well, in CFS's own words, there's strength in numbers. Well, in Nova Scotia right now, the majority of students, about 80%, are not with CFS. So, I mean, from a lobbying perspective, provincially, we felt that we were not getting represented because all the students were in another organization. Also, we felt that CFS was ignoring our needs as students in Cape Breton. So we felt that if they're not going to hear our voice, why we should continue with them makes no sense for us.
Now, when you say roughly 80% of students in Nova Scotia are not with the Canadian Federation of Students, you mean students at other Nova Scotia universities?
Yes. The majority of students in Nova Scotia are with ANSA, which is the other student lobbying group in Nova Scotia.
Now, when you say CFS hasn't really supported the student union at CBU, what do you mean by that?
Well, this year we've had two protests. One was a summer job cut rally, and the other one was a BED rally a month ago. Both these protests that we held here, we had the community support us, yet CFS did not support us. We showed that we could have a protest without CFS's help, but we also then found out why are we supporting CFS if they won't even support our own students. We have not seen CFS once on our campus this year, so I think students were wondering why we were paying them the money.
And what do you pay them?
I don't have the exact figure with me right now, but it's about $27,000 a year.
Okay, so a deduction from each of the students, I guess, that pay fees?
Yes.
Now, as we reported in our news this week, the Canadian Federation of Students says it doesn't feel it's bound by this referendum because you missed the deadline to provide notice of the vote. What do you say to that?
We did not miss the deadline. We sent in a form saying we were planning on holding a referendum March 11th, 12th, and 13th. CFS has acknowledged that they sent this. That we sent it, and then we sent off a petition later with more than 10% of our students wanting to hold a referendum. CFS said this went to the right building, but not their floor. We do not know if this is accurate, but the fact of the matter is their bylaws say that we just have to send the sheet saying when our referendum will happen, and never mentions when the petition has to be sent.
Now, how do you expect the Federation to react to these results?
Looking at past history, and I think this is why some students wanted to leave so badly, we expect that with CFS right now is that they're going to fight to keep us in. But when we have 92% of our students saying that they wanted to federate, we have to respect that, and we're going to have to fight to leave.
Now, the vote turnout, I know, was just under 11% of the students actually casting ballots.
Yes.
Is that a factor?
Our quorum was only 6%, so we bypassed our quorum, so it's not a factor. Would have we liked more students to vote? Yes. But I think it's interesting to note, too, that when we joined CFS in 2001, the turnout was a lot lower than that. It was about, I think, 5 or 6%.
So what actually happens now? What do you do next?
At the moment we would continue to be CFS members for the rest of the academic year. After that we will no longer be members. There's a future student union president coming in, Matt Stewart, and I'm going to let him decide what he wants to do, if he would like to join the other student lobbying organization. To do that, we would have to have another referendum to make sure students agree with that. Or Matt can go another way and we can stay independent and use that money for other services to offer students. from a CFS perspective, I'm sure we will be getting in touch with them today or on Monday at the latest to let them know we have left and to see their reaction.
All right. Well, Ian Lindsay, thanks so much for talking to us about this morning.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Ian Lindsay is the president of the Cape Breton University Students' Union. No one from the Canadian Federation of Students was available to speak with us.